Number 1, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. Number 2, to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of the Lord Vishnu. Number 3, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master. Number 4, to blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in pursuance to the Vedic version. Number 5, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination. Number 6, to give some interpretation to the holy name of the Lord. Number 7, to commit the sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. Number 8, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, karma kanda. Number 9, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Number 10, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachment even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success, Krishna Prema. Once again, dear devotees, I thank everyone for attending Bhakti Sanga Japa conference call today. Let us move to our next session, which is Srimad Bhagavatam class. May I know who all have joined this morning?
हरे कृष्णा सुंदरांगी राधा माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम शिला प्रभुपाद की जय गुरु महाराज की जय दासी from Charlotte. हरे कृष्णा.
Hare Krishna Priti Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining every day and giving your sweet association to us. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Arvind Das from Chicago. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Arvindas Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for joining every day and giving association. Welcome to the call, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Is there anyone else who would like to introduce themselves?
Krishna Sundarangi Radha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devi Dasi from College Station, Texas. Thank you, Mataji, for your sweet services. Well, I'm so happy that you are doing services even from India. Thank you, Mataji. Very grateful to you.
Hare Krishna Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, please accept my pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for all your wonderful services. You are the inspiration for all of us, Mataji. Thank you so much for all your services, and please continue doing the nice services, Mataji, and thank you for your association. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Sundarangi Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Shamagari Devi Dasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna Chamagori Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call, and thank you for all your services, Mataji. Thank you for your association. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Is there anyone else who would like to introduce themselves? I can chant.
Hare Krishna Sundarangi Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. All glories to all the assembled devotees. This is Harita from Missouri City, Texas, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Harita Mataji, please accept my pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for all your wonderful services. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Krishna, I can chant. If anyone wants to introduce themselves, I would love to welcome all of you. We can chant. Meanwhile, Mataji joins. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Sri Pasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna. Sorry, Mataji, anyone introduced? Sorry, I missed.
Mataji, I think Preeti Mataji is chanting.
Okay, sorry. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Mataji, I can see Mataji. So, would you like to start the recording, Mataji? Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I welcome all of you to Bhakti Sanga Japa conference call. Today, we are so fortunate to have Her Grace Krishna Rupa Mataji to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th canto, 3rd chapter, and text number 19. Hare Krishna. Before giving the call to Mataji, I would like to read the brief introduction about Mataji. Here is a brief introduction about today's speaker. Mataji has done software engineer MBA from MIT University, BEd from Mumbai University, Microsoft certified system engineer, and Cisco certified network professional, and Java certified programmer. She has 10 years of experience in the IT industry, worked for companies like HP, Dell, Wipro, former teacher with Delhi Public School. And in spiritual activities, Mataji gives motivational talks on stress management, art of positive thinking, time management, personality development, especially for school children, youth, and corporates. Over the years, she has been invited to deliver several such seminars to students in various premier industries, schools, and colleges of the country, like AIM's New Delhi, Manavastali School, New Delhi, and Mataji is Lady Sri Ram College for Women, and in New Delhi. New Delhi College of Arts and Commerce, and St. Mary's College for Girls, Pune, Bharati Vidya Bhavan College, Pune, and various esteemed colleges in Pune. Mataji has preached in all these places, and Mataji, she guides many young girls and women in leading meaningful lives of peace and happiness. Mataji has conducted seminars on stress management, time management, art of positive thinking in companies like Dell, Wipro, Sony, Channel, New Delhi. And Mataji's current service in ISKCON is teaching Bhakti Sastri classes, IDC classes, Srimad Bhagavatam study circles, and short seminars online. Mataji also takes Sunday Kids School at her home. Hari Bol, all glories to all the services, Mataji. Now I would like to welcome Mataji to our call today. Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for your valuable time and association to us today. Now I would like to hand over the call to you. Whenever ready, please take over the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much for inviting me for this most important actually topic on Gajendra Press. It helped me also. It is one of the 9 limbs of Bhakti, that is Vandanam, and how to offer praise. So Gajendra, by his example, he is teaching us that how to offer praise. So thank you so much for inviting me for this most important topic. So we'll quickly start. We'll just do the Mangla Charan. Give me a minute. I want to share the screen. My screen is not there. ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाखाय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात देश तारिणे। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगे राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So thank you so much. We are on Canto 8, Chapter 3, and text number 19. This is Gajendra's prayers. Gajendra actually starts praying to the Supreme Lord from this particular chapter onwards. And these are very interesting prayers which teach us how can we also take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Would somebody like to read the translation and purport? I'll read the shloka. Okay. Yam dharma kamartha vimukti kama bhajanta ishtam gatim apnuvanti kim chashisho ratyapi dehmavyayam karotu me abhatra dayo vimukshanam. The translation, if somebody can read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. After worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, those who are interested in the 4 principles of religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation obtain from him what they desire. What then is to be said of other benedictions? Indeed, sometimes the Lord gives a spiritual body to such ambitious worshippers. May that Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is unlimitedly merciful, bestow upon me the benedictions of liberation from this present danger and from the materialistic way of life. Hare Krishna.
Somebody can read the purport.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Some men within this material world are akami, free from material desire. Some are ambitious to get more and more material profit, and some desire fulfillment in religious life, economic development, self gratification, and finally liberation. अकामः सर्वकामो वा मोक्षकाम उदारधीः तीव्रेण भक्ति योगेन यजेत पुरुषं परं. Bhagavatam 2.3.10. Mataji, can you please scroll?
Scroll down.
Yeah. It is recommended that whatever one's position, whether one demands no material profit, all material profit, or ultimately liberation, one should offer his obedient devotional service to the Lord, and one will get what he desires. Krishna is so kind. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam sataiva bhajamyaham. The Lord reciprocates. Whatever even an ordinary living entity wants, Krishna gives. Krishna gives. Krishna is situated in everyone's heart, and he gives that which is desired by the living entity. Ishwaraha sarva bhutanam hriddeshe arjuna tishtati. Mataji, can you please scroll down? Brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra rudhani mayaya. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of the material energy. Bhagavad Gita 18.61. The Lord gives everyone an opportunity to fulfill his ambitions. Even such a devotee as Dhruva Maharaja wanted the material benedictions of a kingdom greater than that of his father, and although he received a spiritual body, he also got the kingdom, for the Supreme Personality of Godhead does not disappoint anyone who takes shelter of his lotus feet. Therefore, since Gajendra, king of the elephants, had surrendered the Supreme Personality of Godhead to get free from the present danger and indirectly from the present danger of materialistic life, why should the Supreme Personality of Godhead not fulfill his desire? Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So see, over here, Gajendra is praying to the Supreme Lord, right? And when Gajendra is praying to the Supreme Lord, the Lord, whose very nature is to reciprocate with his devotees. Krishna is a reciprocal God. Krishna is not a person who will just accept some prayers and keep it to himself. That is why he is a very kind person. And that is why he's saying that ye yatha ma prapadyante tam tathas bhajamyam. Mama vartamanenu vartante manushya partha sarvashah. So over here he's saying that ye yatha ma prapadyante. So if you see that when Krishna is saying that as all surrender to me, I reward them accordingly. And that is why he's saying that when a particular person will surrender to me, then I will definitely give him what is exactly required for his Krishna consciousness. And that is why if you see this akama sarva kamava moksha kam udaradi. So whether one is without the desire, one has the desire, or he's desiring something, completely, the Supreme Lord reciprocates with such person, and that is why one should with all efforts try to worship the Supreme Lord in complete perfection, and which culminates into Krishna consciousness. Every moment actually we can be conscious of Krishna. So then he's saying that when he's saying ye yatha ma prapadyate, so he's saying that because the first part is indicating that the Lord is reciprocal. He is not a stone, he is reciprocal. And how he reciprocates, he says, Ye yathaba prapadyate. When somebody considers Krishna's activities as transcendental, the Lord makes their activities also transcendental. So if somebody is, worshipping the deities, somebody is preaching, somebody is doing book distribution, all these activities become transcendental when somebody is trying to consider Krishna's leelas or activities as transcendental. So, which means that the Lord makes the activities transcendental means what? The Lord actually purifies them through those activities. And those who consider Krishna's activities as material, then their activities will remain material only. If we don't understand that, because see, when he's saying Ye Yathama Prapadyante, this is 4.11. But just in 4.9, what Krishna said? Janma karma chame divyam evam yaveti tyaktvatah. Tyaktva deham punarjanma neti mameti. So Arjuna, this is what actually Krishna has said, right? Just give me 1 minute, okay? There is some fault with my laptop. Yeah. So when he's saying Janma Karma Chame Divyam, he's saying that my birth and my activities are transcendental. And anyone who understands my birth and activity, then Tyaktva Deham Punarjanma. Neti Mameti Sorjana. This person will never take birth again. And then when he's saying Mama Vartamaninu Vartante, Manusha. So the second part is that not that by following the path ultimately we will reach him, or as it will not match with other verses of the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna is saying that Yanti Deva Vrata Devan Pitri Yanti Pitrvrata. Or another example is that Arjuna fight or not fight, it does not matter, as ultimately everyone will ultimately go to Krishna. So Prabhupada asked a very simple question over there, that if whatever we do, we have to go back home, back to Godhead, to Krishna, then why Krishna spoke only the Bhagavad Gita? And it gives us so many instructions to follow as the Bhagavad Gita. So what is the meaning that all the people are following my path? When Krishna says that, it means that whatever that person is attracted to, he is actually attracted to the manifestation of Krishna. Ultimately, anything that is attractive, it is because of the manifestation of Krishna. So, so someone asked that if beauty of the opposite sex is also attraction to Krishna, what is wrong in getting attracted towards it? But the problem is that this attraction does not connect us to Krishna. Rather, it takes us away from Krishna, the attraction of the opposite sex. So this spark does not take us towards Krishna, but it takes us away from Krishna. So that is why, Mayavadis also, they say, that everything is experiencing Brahman. So if a person is drinking alcohol, or is experiencing, Brahman, if it is true, then also it has, it is not something elevating and purifying, the person. So it is because drinking alcohol is degrading that particular person, and some attraction towards that alcohol is taking us away from Krishna. And some activities that are transcendental activities, or activities with which we try to please Krishna, then they take us towards Krishna. So even if you see in Krishna book also, in the Ras Leela chapter, Srila Prabhupada said that everyone is dancing. Some are dancing in Yogamaya and some are dancing in Mahamaya. And those in Mahamaya are, those in Mahamaya are illumined and are experiencing more miseries. But those who are in Yogamaya, they are completely enlightened and they are eternally happy. So that is why when he is saying over here, Ye Yatha Ba Prapadyate. And then if you see, Immediately after this, what is Srila Prabhupada quoting over here? He's saying, Ishvara sarvabhutanam hrideshe arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarvabhutani yantra yudhani mayaya. So he's saying that because the Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, when he's saying that, okay, now when he's saying that Ishvara sarva bhutanam, Ishwar is the Supreme Lord, he's the controller of the controllers, and then he's saying that sarva bhutanam, he's situated in every living being's heart. But where is he situated? He is situated in the region of the heart. Hrideshe Arjuna tishtati. So tishtati means is situated. So the Lord is not situated in the heart, but he is situated in the region of the heart. So a soul is situated not only in the heart, but the soul is situated in the region of the heart. We talk about heart in two senses. One is the biological heart, and then the other is the metaphorical heart, right? If you see, when we were in college, I remember we used to have this heart, and then that like arrow passing through the heart. Actually, it's not a very physical heart, but it is just representing a metaphorical heart. And the metaphorical heart represents the seat of emotions also. So Krishna is saying that Hrideshe means in the region of the heart. So a soul and super soul, they both are seated in the region of the heart next to each other. Now you might wonder that why Mataji is, telling all this, Gajendra is praying, but why is she talking about all this? But there is a connection, and let me come to the connection a little later, okay? And then he's saying, Brahmayan Sarva Bhutani. Brahmayan is this living entity is Brahma. Brahman kar raha hai. He's wandering. So all the living entities are wandering in the existence. So, or, they're traveling, See, sometimes we travel with some purpose, okay? Like we go to Vrindavan, we go to Mayapur, there is some purpose, right? But these people, these living entities are wandering aimlessly. They don't have any aim, and they're wandering from one species to another species. So, and how are they wandering? He's saying yantra rudhani mayaya. He's situated on the yantra made up of matter. And what is that yantra? That yantra is my body, our body. So Krishna is indicating that this body is like a machine. So a yantra itself is not conscious, but it is mechanistic. It is made up of some components which are brought together, and they serve some function and some work according to some laws. So body is not alone. It has a soul also, which affects the functioning of the body. So this body is that yantra, that machine, and the soul is using that yantra, that machine. So the soul is conscious. The soul, as a conscious being, it is affecting the functioning of the body. And the soul affects the functioning of the body through its desires, whatever desire that particular person is. Like, for example, a virtual reality of a video game, if you see, right? There is a person who invented this video game and is like, is like synonyms like God, a person who plays the video game like the soul, and he identifies through a mechanism some character in the video game as himself. That character, can be the car or the police or etc. Then the mechanism is also provided by God in our case, or the inventor in our case. Like, so depending on my nature or our nature and the modes, we have been given some position in this particular game. Suddenly a thief cannot become a police, or a police cannot become a thief, vice versa. So according to my varna, I'm acting. And if I'm acting as per my varna, then I become purified, whether I'm a Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or I'm a Brahmachari, Grihastha, or Vanaprastha, that's my ashram, right? So the whole system is supervised by the Supreme Lord. And he has done this whole setup and he's directing this wandering person. And that is why he's saying Brahmayan. He's indicating that the Lord is the supervisor and the Lord is the sanctioner also. And the material nature is the executor. So if you see that even the neuroscientists also, they have done that experiment that he activated one part of the brain and then the hand moves up, and by deactivating the hand, then that hand, fell down. He asked the person on which the experiment is that have you raised the hand? The person said no. Then he moved the artificial activation, and then the tall person, he asked him to raise this hand this time, and the person admits that he has raised the hand. So then this neuroscience scientist has activated the different parts of the brain, and he asked that particular person that are you the activator of the action? The person said no, I'm not the activator. So then the scientist then concluded that through the brain, which is like a computer, but the activator is different and he's somewhere outside. So somebody else is actually controlling that hand. So science also is telling us about, motor nerves, nervous system, and raising the hand and, executing it. So Krishna over here is sanctioning the desires and is providing the facilities to the soul as per his desired, which the soul can afford. Okay. So Krishna is providing this framework, and within that, the living entity is working. And so different living entities, they work in different ways. So we also work as per our nature, which is, we work as per our, nature, whether I am a Brahmana, whether I am, a Grihastha, that's my nature, like, okay. In that framework, I work. And I cannot give up my nature many times. So Krishna is telling that that nature is controlled by the Supreme Lord. And then Krishna is telling that when we surrender to the Supreme Lord, then only we will be able to get all auspiciousness. Otherwise, it is very difficult, to get all auspiciousness. Otherwise, we'll keep on moving and moving. Now, coming to this purport, when, Srila Prabhupada is saying that the Lord gives everyone an opportunity to fulfill his ambitions. Even such a devotee as Dhruv Maharaj wanted material benedictions. Okay, so now somebody might ask in Gajendra's case that did God help Gajendra only when he stopped helping himself? We can actually even see in the case of, Mother Draupadi also, right? So it's very important to know that whenever this word surrender or Sharanagati, of course, I'm going to do a 50 sessions seminar on Sharanagati starting from next Saturday, but that's in Hindi. So I'm going to take Bhakti Vinod Thakur's all 50 bhajans on Sharanagati, the 6 limbs of Sharanagati. It has almost 50 bhajans, and I'm going to explain them. And it will be like an interactive, seminar as such on every Saturday, just 1 hour. I'll be taking. So now this surrender, if you see, even surrender requires some efforts or some trying. And Gajendra did not give up sinking in self-pity, but instead he looked up to call out for the Lord. That also requires some endeavor, right? So in bhakti, there is a dual dynamic. There is dependence on Krishna, and there is also diligence for Krishna. Like, and both are, very internal to devotion. So, like for things that are not in my control, we have to have diligence to do them nicely as we can, right? Some seva is given to us. And for example, some seva is given to us, but I'm dependent on the gas, or I'm dependent on some devotee, or I'm dependent on time as such. But we can do them as nicely as we can. And see, even in Bhagavad Gita also, in Arjuna's case also, Arjuna had practiced archery very painstakingly, where he learned that art all day and he practiced all night also. If you all know that, how he used to not sleep at night. He used to keep on practicing again and again, right? Practice makes a man perfect. So, Arjuna, what he used to do is that, and that is why, he became he became a champion archerer. And that is why he got the name Gudakeshaha, right? So he did not think that he will depend on Krishna and shoot the arrow and Krishna will make it a hit target. Instead, Arjuna was again and again very painstakingly, he was practicing, and that diligence was also his devotion also. Yeah, he was very devoted to his archery also. So therefore, for the things which are in our control, we need to be, very diligent. For the things which are not in control, we need to be dependent on the Supreme Lord. Now, in some situations, we may think that, it is not in our control and we keep trying and trying, but eventually we realize that no, it is not in my control. And then we surrender to Krishna. Like I was saying in Draupadi's case also, Draupadi also was in a very similar situation of Gajendra only. She was trying to protect herself, but when her endeavors failed, she finally surrendered to Krishna by raising her hands, both her hands. But there is a big difference between Gajendra's and Draupadi's consciousness. Gajendra was completely in an enjoying mentality when he was out there in the lake for the picnic. But Draupadi, throughout her life, was in a dharmic consciousness. And at the time of disrobing, she tried to persuade everyone to see dharma by, questioning the stand of the elder members of the, Kaurav family. Just give me a minute. So that is why it is not that Draupadi was not surrendered before. It was out of surrender itself only that she was trying to stay out of that calamity. And that is why it is not that Arjun also was not surrendered when he was fighting. When he was also fighting, he was completely surrendered. And Gajendra was in a materialistic consciousness when he came in the lake. And that emergency that was there, when the crocodile attacked him, the emergency in his life put him in spiritual consciousness. So whenever we also have an emergency, we are put in a spiritual consciousness. Now see, okay, both Arjun and Draupadi were throughout their life in devotional consciousness and did their best in the mood of devotion to Krishna. But at a very particular point, when they found that all their diligence was not enough, then they shifted to depend on Krishna. In that sense, Gajendra's evolution is from material to spiritual consciousness, whereas for Draupadi and Arjuna, it is always spiritual consciousness, but from diligence in spiritual consciousness to dependence in spiritual consciousness. So this is very important actually, but both the situations are not very similar. Sometimes we get we get caught up too much in doership mentality, thinking ourselves to be the cause, and we might not even remember Krishna. But when things don't work out, we become humble and pray to Krishna. You must have definitely experienced this while doing book distribution. So when the things don't work out, then what happens? We immediately become humble. We immediately take shelter of Srila Prabhupada. We immediately take shelter of our spiritual master. We immediately take shelter of Krishna. And that's why when we become humble and we pray to Krishna, then Krishna reps us. And this is how we go from material to spiritual consciousness like Gajendra. So at the same time, we should not think that in the name of dependence on Krishna, we do not do our part well, right? Okay, oh, Krishna will take care. Okay, we just escape. That shouldn't also be there. So, like, I remember one of my teachers, when they had started to give some spiritual classes for the very first time, he had received some guidelines that, how to speak in public for Krishna. And the last guidance was that how to depend on Krishna. And to depend on Krishna means what? That after I have sufficiently prepared for my class, then I depend on Krishna. Then I depend on Guru, right? But if I don't prepare only, and all of a sudden I come over here and give a class, or all of a sudden he goes and gives this class, so then that dependence really won't work, because he is not prepared. He has not done his part properly first. He's not given that endeavor. So if I don't prepare for a class and say I'm dependent on Krishna, then it is not dependence, it is irresponsibility. So that is why we should not think that dependence on Krishna is the same as irresponsibility. We should be very extremely responsible in doing what we can, but we should also try to have we should have a consciousness of service, where instead of doers, we think ourselves as, I'm an instrument in the hands of my spiritual master and Prabhupada and Krishna. And we do our duties for the pleasure of Krishna, and knowing that it is he who is enabling me to do it. Otherwise, not a blade of grass can move, not a leaf can move without his sanction. And even in the Bhagavad Gita, if you see the 7th chapter, 8th shloka, where Krishna says that Paurusham Rishu, I am the ability in a man. So without ability, we cannot do anything. And at the same time, our abilities are not our entitlements. They are our endowments. They have been given to us, or you can say that they have been given or gifted to us by Krishna. So if you see somebody is dressing the deities so well, okay, so you immediately strike that, oh, this ability, to dress the deities very wonderfully has come from Krishna. If somebody is a very good book distributor, this ability has come from Krishna. If somebody speaks really very well, then we should understand that that ability in that particular person has come from Krishna itself. If somebody is able to, quickly influence people and make devotees, then immediately we should understand, oh, this ability is given to that particular person by Krishna himself. So that is why, if I am in a material consciousness like Gajendra, where, helplessness in just, individual situations will take me towards spiritual consciousness, then it is good. But in normal, when I'm doing some service, I should not think myself to be in, material consciousness. So that is why we all try to remain in devotional consciousness by being diligent towards Krishna. And even after working diligently, if something does not work, then we shift towards dependence to Krishna, like how Gajendra shifted, his whole consciousness for, depending on Krishna. So sometimes, it might seem that, Gajendra is an animal, okay? So sometimes somebody might ask that, Gajendra is an animal, and how come, Krishna understood his language, or how come does Krishna, only help human beings? Does Krishna help only animals? Because see, if you see throughout the Ramayana, or even if you see in Chaitanya Charitamrita also, the little puppy, Shivanand Sen's puppy, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually, liberated that little puppy also. Or in the Ramayana also, the little squirrel, there's Jatayu is there. These are all birds and animals only. And here now we have Gajendra, who is an elephant. Like, okay, so when scriptures are depicting animals, which are speaking like, some human languages, then how can we understand that animal is speaking a human language? So, see, in Srimad Bhagavatam, in Ramayana and Mahabharata, they are describing not, as a life or as we know right now, but also, like in the Vanaras or the monkeys in Ramayana are there, right? And they're not simply monkeys, okay? But uh, when people see them, it may seem that, they are, like monkeys, but when people see them, they appear so similar to human beings that people have a question in mind that, is this a monkey or a human being? You must have seen the Ramayana, serial definitely. So these monkeys are considered not just as monkeys, but they are celestial apes also. They have quite an evolved consciousness and are not like the present day monkeys, which really they don't have, material consciousness. They really don't know only. Like this bird, Jatayu, is not an ordinary bird. And even when we see that, not all birds and animals speak and communicate. So when Mother Sita was abducted and Ram was searching for Sita, Ram actually turns and asks the trees, the birds, the animals. He's wandering in the jungle, but nobody, replied to him. And this is showing that is why, if you see, all these instances or epics, they show that they're not mythology where, one is just imagining animals to be talking. There are certain variations to those species where almost, most of them have an evolved consciousness and an evolved consciousness to the level of human consciousness, you can say. And they could communicate, they could talk, and not everyone, some of them, but so that's one understanding. And the other understanding is that these are very great souls who are already spiritually involved, but temporarily they're born in a particular species. In that animal body, they might exhibit certain attributes, but which are not very compatible with the species, because that is they already have an evolved consciousness from their previous life. Now, if you see Gajendra also, Gajendra, although he's an elephant, but he's offering great prayers. How can an animal, offer great prayers? Because Gajendra was already an evolved soul in his previous life. But somehow or the other, he got cursed and he was given an elephant's body. And we have heard in the scriptures that if somebody grows spiritually, then such advancement is never lost, right? In the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, the 40th shlok, Neha Bikramanasti Pratyavayana Vidyate. So if spiritual advancement is never lost, then why is it that sometimes such, souls, they get a lower species? This may be, some result of the reaction to certain actions they must have done, and although they get a lower body, but they do not get a lower consciousness. In general, if you see animals, they have a lower consciousness, right? Animals and trees, they have a much more lower consciousness than human beings. But they might get a lower body, these devotees, but they don't have a lower consciousness. In case of Bharat Maharaj also, his consciousness did not lower down. Because Bharat Maharaj had reached Bhava level. And because he got attached to that deer, then he got a deer's body. But his consciousness never got lowered. So Gajendra was King Indradrammna in his previous life and he got an animal body, but he did not get an elephant consciousness. His consciousness remained, more than an evolved soul. So although temporarily his consciousness was covered, but still that consciousness was there at a very dormant level. And that is why the second possibility is that not all members of species are talking, but some are, as they're already evolved, souls as such. And the third possibility will be that of animals taking, animals talking in these scriptures is because it could be some very miraculous intervention. Like as I mentioned, in Chaitanya Charitamrita also it is described that, animals started, chanting in the Jharkhand forest. They were very ordinary living animals living in that forest. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very miraculously, through his potency, he made them sing, dance, chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And we recently had a Chandan Yatra, 21-day festival in Pune. And some of our, very sweet children, because this is a vacation time in India. So you should see that they had completely depicted Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Jharkhand forest. They had made that. And the deer and the lion, they both are hugging each other. Like, this is the miracle Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could do it between, a deer and a lion, both hugging each other as such. So, why this was possible is because, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went in the Jharkhand forest and everybody is dancing and chanting, this is possible only because the Supreme Lord, Krishna, is present in the hearts of all living beings. And the Supreme Lord has all knowledge. And the soul has, only a particular level of knowledge based on the kind of body it has, but the Supreme Lord has all knowledge. So that is why Krishna can use the soul to exhibit a level of knowledge in consciousness that is beyond the soul's capacity, in that particular body. So there are three possibilities. One is that of different species. One is referring to a specially evolved soul, whether it is in the lower species, that is like Gajendra. And one is demonstrating some miraculous intervention of the Lord. That how, even the animals can chant and dance and sing. Now a question might come, because see, we are at, Gajendra's prayers over here. And Gajendra is like, offering his very sincere prayers. He has surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead to, get himself free from that big danger that has come in the form of a crocodile. And somebody might ask that how can I best offer prayers, to the Supreme Lord? How can I take the help from the Bhagavatam to offer prayers to the Supreme Lord? Or how much importance should I give, to reciting prayers from the Bhagavatam and some other devotional literatures? Like, for example, Vishnu Sahasranam or Ram Raksha Stotra. Our children, over here in Pune, they chant Ram Raksha Stotra every day. Like I remember when we were small, my mother, she used to make us chant Ram Raksha Stotra daily before going to sleep. And Vishnu Sahasranam maybe only on Sundays, but Ram Raksha Stotra was compulsory for us to chant and sleep. So, how important are these, prayers? Are there some specific prayers that we can choose or recite at different times or at a particular situation, that I'm facing? Or should I just focus on understanding and reviewing the translations? Or I should just recite the verses as such? There might be a question that, how to, recite these prayers with meaning, without meaning, understanding the meaning, or just plainly meaning. So you see, these prayers means only Vandanam, as I previously told in the very beginning of the class, that Vandanam is an important part of devotional service, or it is a very important or a vital limb, and it is a way which I can personally connect with Krishna in a very sweet and a very close way. Now, Srila Rupa Goswami, he also talks about, the 64 devotional services that are described. And the prayers can be, my own composed prayer, or the prayers can be recited, or prayers as like, Srila Rupa Goswami says that reciting prayers that are given in the scriptures. So we have a folder called Pradhyawali. If somebody wants, I'll share that. And these are all the prayers from the Bhagavatam. Okay, these are all the shlokas from the Bhagavatam. Now, somebody might ask which prayers to recite. So, first and foremost is that thing is that what is the inspiration that gives me? Whether I want to recite Kunti Maharani's prayers or Gajendra's prayers or Prahlad Maharaj's prayers, what is inspiring me more, and which are the things with which I can connect the most, or directly or intimately. Like if you see in the 10th canto, we have some 5 to 6 geets, okay? Brahmar Geet, Venu Geet, Gopi Geet, and all these, okay? Somebody can recite that also. If somebody is really very interested and he feels connected or is inspiring and all. And like if we take, if we like this pastime of Gajendra only. So Gajendra's praise, we are able to connect with very easily. Or if we like this pastime of Prahlad Maharaj, and Prahlad Maharaj's praise also will be able to connect with very easily. So it is not necessary that we have to recite all the verses in the prayers. Although it is nice if we can do that. But the important thing is that we have a connection with Krishna through these Vandanam prayers. The important part is there. Now, specifically, how that connection will work is it, in different devotees, different cases will be there, and it will vary also from devotee to devotee, case to case, it will vary. So if we feel that we are caught up by some anartha and we want to come out of that anartha, then we recite some prayers. Like for example, I will recite Gajendra's prayers because, he was caught up by this crocodile, and if you want to focus more on the principles of pure devotion, in the mood of satisfying the Lord, then Prahlad Maharaj's prayers are also very good. And even Dhruv Maharaj's prayers also talk about that, how we are caught up, and how even when we have an opportunity for devotional service, we are still caught up with all these worldly things. That is also a good prayer for that particular situation. Then we have Bhishma Pitama's prayers also, especially very good for contemplating on the final moments of death and preparing for those moments. And see, Mahajana Yena Gata Pantasto. We are walking on the footsteps of the Mahajanas. And then Kunti Maharani's prayers are also very good, especially, when you're facing many challenges in terms of, say going away from devotee association, or going away from, some spiritual activities, or something which are very spiritually stimulating as such. So we can pray to Kunti Maharani, we can pray how Kunti Maharani has prayed to the Supreme Lord. And we can pray that, okay, my heart is attracted, oh Lord, let my heart, be attracted to you, just as a river is flowing, towards the ocean. And then we have, the prayers of Banasur also. And so one way is that we select prayers and recite those prayers, and select a prayer on one theme, and from various places, and recite it. And the other is we take one great Vaishnava prayer and recite those prayers. See, even our, present Acharya, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur or Narottam Das Thakur, they are also praying only. They have so many prayers, Danya Bodhika, Lal Samai prayers and all. These also prayers we can, recite these prayers. So both are fine. It will depend on, what my mood is, what my aspiration is, and even when I'm reciting the prayers, it's not necessary that I have to recite all the prayers. Right? So if, for example, if I'm in a great difficulty, Narsingha prayers also will do. Narsingha Aarti will also do. So some of the prayers may be too long, or it may be very difficult for us to recite them. And after a struggle of reciting them itself, it may be a little bit, we might be put off also. But we can select some important prayers from there and we can recite those prayers also. Of course, we can read all the prayers and we can connect all of them. Maybe not equally with all of them, but some may be able to connect with immediately. If you remember, my grandmother, I remember she used to recite some prayers on a daily basis. And I don't remember what prayer she is, because I never asked what she used to recite daily, but for 1 hour she used to keep on reciting something uh, from some book she had. So, but the important is in praying is not to get to two extremes. One is to, get caught up in that rule. Okay, I have to recite all the prayers. Then the purpose of connecting with Krishna at that level of intimate emotions, then it is lost. So, and on the other hand, in the name of wanting to connect emotionally, we just have, you know, no one day we recite 10 prayers, on the next day we recite only one prayer, and then the next day we don't recite only any prayers, and the next day we recite some other prayers. So, this whimsically, what we do. So then often repetition also helps us to develop some connection. So for example, like we have Damodar Ashtakam, which we recite during the month of Kartik. And we have many other Ashtakams also, which we recite during, the month of Gaur Purnima also. So now, when we recite these, every day over a period of time, then there is a very sweet connection that happens with these prayers, and we look forward to them. Like, for example, just 1 month before, Kartik, we feel, oh, now Damodar Ashtakam is coming, and then, I have to decorate my house very nicely, and I will, just like, make the whole atmosphere so nicely that every day I can call Vaishnavas and, we can do Damodar Ashtakam together. That's like some, exciting thing is there. Some, you get that connection also, and we look forward. So it is good at least, to, if you are, starting reciting a particular set of prayers, you recite them for at least for a few days, maybe a week or something, or a fortnight or a month. So, and gradually we will have that connect, that emotional connect will be there, with us. And it's good to change also, because there will be, memorizing some more verses, and then connecting ourselves with more verses also, connecting ourselves with connecting ourselves to Krishna with these more verses. And of course, as far as translation is concerned, it depends that you know uh, when we have it, we understand, and we read those translations after singing, because during the Damodar Ashtakam, they definitely in the temple hall they read the translation, so we know the translations also. And I remember every Saturday when I was in Bombay, so every Saturday His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj used to have Bhajan Sandhya, 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock, 3 hours he used to have this Bhajan Sandhya, where, there is meditation on Vaishnava bhajans, and, initially I used to find these Sanskrit verses a little difficult to memorize, but then when I was able to relate with, then it was very easy, the Bengali songs that are there and Vaishnava songbook. It was not, I mean, I was not able to connect initially, but then, like how a father teaches the children, so, Maharaj very lovingly, he used to repeat one line 3 to 4 times with the tune, and he used to ask us to also repeat again and again. So, with the help of Maharaj instilled those, Vaishnav song, you can say, samskaras into us. And then I was just asking, after one bhajan Sandhya, I just asked Maharaj, you're singing this, but because I'm a very fool person, I don't understand that. Why should I sing Vaishnava bhajans? So Maharaj was telling me that, see, this is the mood of the Vaishnavas. This is the heart of the Vaishnavas. They are speaking their heart through their, bhajans or through their songs. Now, when we sing those songs, then we will also imbibe the mood of our previous acharyas. The mood of the previous acharyas is a very compassionate mood for themselves also and for the others also. So when we are repeating those again words, then we also get that consciousness. Because he told me, actually very specifically, I remember that these bhajans are actually, you can say this is the consciousness. They have written these bhajans with their consciousness. Now, when I'm reading these bhajans, then my consciousness also becomes as good as that particular Vaishnava. I'll also able to imbibe that, mood of that particular Vaishnava, which is a very helpless mood, or which is a very dainya mood, or which is a very dependent mood on Krishna. Right. So that's how, and he also said that these are a very potent source of spiritual strength and inspiration. This line I can never forget. These bhajans are very potent source of spiritual strength and inspiration. So then, we can select some lines from those verses and we can sing, and we can have at least, I in my, group, whenever we have council meetings at my place, or whenever I take a particular class, because over here we have little time constraint, but I don't take. But if it is a 2-hour class, then compulsory I will take one Vaishnava bhajan for sure. And then I will start my class. But that samskara which Maharaj has actually instilled in us, that is still there. And I'm very, very, thankful to him that he has given us those. Now, this is, I'm talking way back in 2000, 2001, those times I'm talking about, where Maharaj was very, personal with every devotee in the congregation as such. So we have Bhaktivinoda Thakur's, prayers, we have Narottam Das Thakur's prayers, we have Srila Prabhupada's prayers also. So the important thing is that we're able to connect emotionally through these prayers with the Supreme Lord. And so often reading about those prayers means that we can, we can read Srila Prabhupada's purpose, of course, or we can hear some classes. And, if they run on those prayers, then it will help us also to, dive deeply onto those prayers and deepen my connection or our connection with Krishna. Because see, we have a very emotional connect with Krishna, right? So emotionally also we will be connected, and intellectually also we will be connected to Krishna. And often if the understanding is clear, then that helps that emotion also to develop. Emotions are there, but emotions need to be developed completely and fully in its ripened state, 100%, that way. So, there are different people who work very differently. Like some people, thoughts come first, emotions come later, or for others, emotions come first and the thoughts matter. So really, they don't matter so much. But normally, we say now that the thinking, feeling, and willing. So some kind of thought is always there before feeling. But I am, talking in terms of some systematic contemplation. So for some devotees, only when they understand the meaning of the prayer, then they, while meditating on understanding the meaning of the prayer, they focus on the mood. And then the mood starts, developing. And for others, it may be just a musical recitation of the prayer, or, just uttering of the prayer. That itself is a very satisfying experience as such. So, yes, we go on, praying, and we appeal to the Lord through some prayers, and that itself is very satisfying. And after that, one, when contemplates on the meaning, the absorption becomes more richer. So in general, it is not necessary to read out the translations or recite the translations, but it is important that we will be aware of the meaning of whatever we are speaking. So at least a broad sense of meaning we should be aware. Like, for example, I have read this and there's a meaning, and then I'll be able to connect. And this will help, understanding the meaning also on a broader sense. It will help me to deepen my contemplation. I have done this, Like for example, when I'm actually taking some chanting seminars also, holy name seminars or holy name meditations, so where we can get some idea that how we can contemplate on these prayers, because the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is also a prayer to the Supreme Lord. Oh Radha, oh Krishna, please engage me in your loving devotional service, right? And this is just one way, and every individual devotee, because one has an individual relationship with Krishna, one can contemplate in different ways. And the important point is we become absorbed and connected emotionally. Because if we won't become, absorbed and emotionally connected, then it makes it makes no sense. So if reading the translation is helping, often it might be better than, to read the translation first, so that we have a sense of the meaning and then we recite the verses. And sometimes, many times, we did 3-4 months back, we did Bhishma Stuti. So there are 11 prayers in Bhishma Stuti. Okay. And yeah, I'll answer this a little later. So Bhishma Stuti has 11 prayers. And the last section, that is, instead of reciting all the 11 prayers daily, we may decide that I will recite one verse daily 11 times. So sometimes repeating the same verse again and again might also help us to absorb ourselves more. So Srila Prabhupada also in this Gajendra, purport, he's saying that in the Gajendra pastime, it seems that Gajendra was able to remember the prayers at that moment of crisis. Although the prayers he had memorized in his previous life. So he said the devotee should also memorize and recite prayers. And Srila Prabhupada specifically, recommends the Brahma Samhita prayers over here in one of the purports, and he recommends the Narsimha Arti also. So the point is that if we are not able to remember the specific letters of the prayers or specific words of the prayers, we can try to memorize, of course. But even if we are not able, to remember the principles that we are trying to have, we are trying to connect with Krishna. We're trying to connect with Krishna emotionally, and based on that emotions, the great Vaishnavas will help us, Krishna will help us, and will, get their spiritual strength and capacity to call out to, Krishna. Now, and if not in words, which we have memorized, but, uh, in our own words also, in our own heart also, to seek that mercy, whenever we have an opportunity or necessity to pray. So the most important thing is that we are able to connect with Krishna very emotionally. See, when you get connected emotionally, it is in a long run, it actually takes you, a long way with that relationship. So see, the mother is connected with the child very emotionally, and the child is connected with the mother also very emotionally. The mother does not need to pray, or the child does not need to pray. They both are connected very emotionally with each other. So similarly, the Jiva and Krishna both are connected emotionally with each other. And um uh, and both, the Lord and the devotee, they don't have, rules where, the rule is that you have to do this. But when you say rules, then there is no emotional connection. And some second extreme would be that just for the sake of emotions, we keep on changing, thinking that, this prayer will bring me emotions, and I'll recite this prayer, and then I will not recite this prayer, and I'll recite that prayer to bring some emotions and bring some tears into my eyes. And also, therefore, not go deep into any prayer at all will be very difficult. So a balance has to be done based on, every individual's inclination and his experience also. So when Gajendra over here, he is actually in danger and he's trying to take shelter of the Supreme Lord's lotus feet. Now, see, there is one very special quality about the Supreme Lord, okay? So, for the Supreme Lord does not disappoint anyone who takes shelter of his lotus feet. Now, why is it that the Supreme Lord does not disappoint anyone who takes his lotus? Because that is the very nature of the Supreme Lord. For example, he is bound. It is his very nature and he cannot shirk from that particular nature. So when Ravana and Vibhishan, okay, Vibhishan was Ravana's brother, as we know. When Vibhishan came actually to Lord Ram, to seek shelter, so Lord Ram gave him shelter, but Angad was a little skeptical. He said, no, 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 he's from the, enemy's camp and he's the brother to Ravana, very difficult. He might go and tell all our traits and all. But Lord Ram said one thing actually. He said that, see, anyone who comes to take my ashray or my shelter, then I am bound to give him shelter. Even if Ravana comes today and he says, Lord Ram, from this day I am yours, I will give shelter to even Ravana because that's my nature and I will not, shirk away from that particular nature. And that is why this nature of the Supreme Lord is such a beautiful nature that anybody, even if I have done some, tons and tons of sins in my previous life, but if I just try to surrender to the Supreme Lord is such a forgiving person that he'll forgive me for all my previous sins and he will accept me. And that is why in the Bhagavad Gita, the last shloka, he says that Sarva Dharma Parityaja Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tam Sarva Papebhyo Moksha Ishami Ma Sucha. Don't fear, you just surrender to me. Completely, I will take care of all your sins. And this is the beauty of Krishna when every day we are trying to chant the holy names of the Supreme Lord with full focus, full concentration, full mindedness as such, that Krishna, from this day I am yours. Every day we declare, every mantra I am declaring, Krishna, I am yours. So recently I was hearing His Holiness Bhakti Ashray Vaishnava Swami Maharaj, who is one of my god brothers and a senior sannyasi also. So he was telling that I'm Krishna's and I'm made for Krishna. In Hindi it is, मैं कृष्ण का हूं और कृष्ण के लिए ही हूं. And in my life, I don't want Krishna, but I only want Krishna in my life. मुझे कृष्णा भी नहीं चाहिए, मुझे कृष्णा ही चाहिए. So I also don't want Krishna, but I only want Krishna in my life. So with this, consciousness, when we are chanting, Krishna, I only want you in my life. I don't want anything else in my life. When you're chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, in this way, there's complete surrender and completely when we, give ourselves to Krishna. Now, if any calamity comes, by chance, I take an animal's birth. Okay, by chance, right? Because of my some bad karma, I might, or somebody cursed me and then I take a birth of an animal. But Krishna will make it sure that he will not lower my consciousness. Whatever I have done in this lifetime, whatever chanting I have done in this whole lifetime, that will not go in vain. Neha Bikramanathos. He will not allow me to forget. He will help me. Hare, last birth, you'd remember, you chanted the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, when we chant in utter dependence of the Supreme Lord, then that definitely helps us as such. So let's pray to the Supreme Lord. Let's pray to Srila Prabhupada, our previous acharyas, our current acharyas, that please help me to, take complete shelter of the Supreme Lord in full surrender and let everything of mine, my mind, my body, my words, they just be completely, loyal to Krishna and nobody else. With that, I'll just, rest my speech over here. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Hari Bol. Anybody has any questions, doubts, queries, you're free to ask me. Oh, I think everybody's awake or sleeping.
Krishna Mataji, thank you so much
Hare
for
Krishna
such a
Mataji,
beautiful
Dandavat
class,
Pranam.
Mataji. Very
Wonderful
grateful
class.
to you. Thank you so much for coming on the call and speaking on such a very beautiful verse, Mataji, for today. I'm so happy to hear from you. I see one chat question in the chat box, Mataji. How to control the mind with cheating?
Okay, Abhilasha is asking me that how can we control the mind from cheating? Can you be more specific, Abhilasha? Like in terms of what? Cheating in terms of what?
Chanting Mataji.
Oh, this is cheating or chanting?
Chanting.
So see, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur only has given actually a very nice solution for this. So, mind goes here and there. It is very, natural for every living being. So what you should do is you should have this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, as a board written somewhere, a big frame or written somewhere, printed somewhere. And you just keep on, saying the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So when you keep on, having that board in front of you, then you don't get distracted. You'll keep on reading the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, you'll focus. And then you can have Krishna, Radha Krishna picture, Gauneta picture. So like over here, then you go on Krishna, you can go on, Gauneta as such. So when, this whole thing is there in front of your eyes, then the mind will not get distracted. The mind will be controlled. The mind will be anchored only on the Hare Krishna Mahamantra as such. And even before chanting also, we can have some small prayers, to the Supreme Lord, to Guru, Gauranga, that help me to control my mind. These 2 hours are there. We can have some, training given to our mind also. Man ko samjha sakte. Just, convince your mind. Hey, mind, only 2 hours I have for Krishna. Please help me, to just focus on, Krishna only, help me to just have every syllable, every letter, I want to actually dedicate it at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord itself. Let me help me to be surrendered to the holy name. And we can have some prayers like this as such. And that's how, it will help you to chant. And the mind will be controlled. It will not go here and there as such. Okay.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Somebody else has any question?
Yes, Mataji, I would like to read Harita Mataji's question here. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, very beautiful class, Mataji. Hari Bol, I like the last point. I don't want also Krishna. I want only Krishna. Hari Hari. Very meaningful, Mataji. Thank you so much. So it's just a realization, Mataji, not the question, but a beautiful realization. Thank you, Mataji, for that realization sharing. Harita Mataji. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, any more questions, any realizations to Mataji? Please go ahead at this point.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for the wonderful class, and thank you so much for the very wonderful realizations, and how to use the prayers in our day-to-day life, in Kartik month we chant the Damodar Ashtakam, like that we need to chant every day, and our grandmothers used to do that. Even I remember my grandmother was chanting almost 2 hours, all the prayers every day, same prayers every day. And she memorized all of them, and she was always keep on singing that one. In her old age, she was always remembering the prayers. So these prayers are so important. And also the Vaishnava bhajans you mentioned, that is also very nice. We can sing Vaishnava bhajans every day. Thank you so much, Mataji. Wonderful class, Mataji. Thank you so much. And very nice preparation. You also said like we need to prepare and then depend on Krishna. Yeah, thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna.
Ki
Please.
jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. So there is realizations by Har Krishna Vrinda Gopika Mataji. She's saying, Koti Koti Dandavat Pranam, Krishna Rupa Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Touch to heart class. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev, Sri Radha Gopinath ki jai. Thank you so much. Please give your association regularly. Please sing one Vaishnava bhajan if you have a time, Mataji. That's what her request is.
The only thing is that I have to actually rush to meet His Holiness Bhakti Ashra Vaishnava Maharaj, because we have been given some time, slot that my whole group will be meeting Maharaj. So I actually have to rush. But next time, whenever I'm invited, one Vaishnava bhajan, definitely I'll sing.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Very grateful to you. So definitely we would like to wait for the next class and listen to your Vaishnava bhajan too. I would like to offer my obeisances to you and all the Vaishnavas assembled on the call. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhu bhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Koti Vaishnava Vrind ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Her Grace Krishna Rupa Mataji ki jai.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam Mataji.
And thank you, dear devotees, for joining today's class. We'll close the call for today. Srimad Bhagavatam.